Ready.
How we doing out there, world? What is good? Happy Monday to you guys, ladies and gents. The fellas are here, full house. Gonna chop it up like we always do. This is the BCS After Hours show. You get us after hours, chopping it up, uncut. And we are certainly going to do that tonight. Got a lot of stuff to go over. Of course, we got Olympic basketball moving that way to the medal round. So I know we're getting excited for that, as well as we're getting some preseason football games coming our way. And I know the fellas are loving that. Guys, let us know what you'd like to hear tonight in the comment section. We'll throw you up on the show and get the ball rolling. But a quick intros, of course. Top left, we got North Glenn's finest. We got the Soch man in the house. Soch, how we feeling?
Feeling good, right? I mean, you got football right around the corner. We had football last Thursday. Threw out a little first quarter, over 6.5. Shout out to Fezzik. But it was good. It was good seeing the board, getting that first one out of the way, kind of build some confidence up towards the regular season, even though it is backups. But just like you touched on, we got Olympic basketball. The medal rounds are starting up. USA is going to face off against Brazil for the first time in about a decade, so that'll be fun to watch. If people don't know, these Olympic games are starting at 3 a.m. I mean, we got Greece kicking off at 3 a.m. We got a 6 a.m. game. I think we got a 10 a.m. game, and then we got USA to finish it off at like 1 p.m. against Brazil. So got a good slate of basketball tomorrow. I've been diving deep into a couple of the player props, and a couple of the spreads. So we're going to see how that goes. But no, it's good. We're starting to turn a corner, starting to get closer to football season. I mean, I feel like that's where the cream of the crop is going to be for our group. So, we're ready to get that started. But it's good. It's good. It's good to be here. Good to have some basketball and some football in the mix.
Absolutely. Good to have you, my friend. And in that left corner, of course, you got the ace up his sleeve. You know he's going to throw out a little play for you. You bet he's going to cast, and you can guarantee after he's going to smash. We got the Witzer in the house. What is going on, Wit?
Chilling, dude. So football starts this Thursday, right? Preseason Hall of Fame game was last week. Probably the best thing for me this week was seeing Scheffler come back in the last and just like the patriot, like just how emotional we got. First one to do it in the Olympics.
That was awesome
from a golf standpoint, but good that USA, brought that home and just a great dude to do it and be a great ambassador for the country. Then you had the 100-meter with Lyles, which was interesting. So, but the highlight for me this week has been Scheffler bringing home that gold. So, just a great moment for him, his family, and everyone in America.
I mean, just to touch on that a little bit more, you want to talk about a dude with fucking ice in his veins. I mean, this dude is unreal. I remember, so I placed the bet for Tommy Fleetwood to take first. I bet $10 to win like 60 the night before the final round, and Scotty was 5 shots behind first.
Yeah.
Which in golf, in theory, you only see a guy 5 shots behind come back in the last round, maybe 5 out of 100, maybe 4 out of 100 times. And I remember seeing him; he was plus 1,400, but. Just to touch on you, I mean, just the true American. Obviously, that was a big gold medal for USA to win, going across the pond and playing. So, I mean, that was nuts. I mean, shooting a course record in the final round for a gold medal, it don't get much better than that. So, shout out to Scotty.
Yeah,
100%. Dude got arrested this year, but it's bringing back the gold coming our way. And of course, ladies and gents, we got the Emperor himself, the Sultan of SWAT. The Colossus of Clout. We got WW.
Did he mute out on my intro?
Yeah, I think
what's going on? Too many copyright infringements. Yeah, you guys covered it all except for we started off. This is Summer Olympics is USA's. That's always been ours. Right before the show kicked off, we're tied with China, 21 golds. But we're 26 total above them. We got 79 medals total. So, we still got next week or this week going into it. So, yeah.
yeah, it's just a good day. Good Olympics. Good 2 weeks for America, and the men's team's going to bring it home.
100%.
That's all.
100%. Yeah, some good stuff. Of course, this is one of our favorite things. We kind of go around the room. Everyone throws out what they're interested in tonight, or kind of what they want to throw out there into the world. I kind of wanted to start it. Me and Sach the other day, we're at the Wing Cave, Ian Witt. We little spot, checking it out, watching some archery for the Olympics. That thing was electric, let me tell you.
Archery's badass.
That was
Archery
one
is
of the
badass.
craziest
It
things.
was crazy, but we're just talking BS and everything, and we're like, one of these days they're gonna fly the BCS out there for the Olympics, but they're only gonna give us one event to cover, and they're gonna give us like canoeing or something, and we were like, damn well, Witt's gonna be like, out of all the events they gave us canoeing.
Hey,
Go to the bar.
unless you don't really know me. I mean, remember the ponies? Hot take on the ponies. No one was following the ponies, but Witt was.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was noteworthy. I might come out with some next level canoe knowledge that you never even knew I had.
That is true.
That'd be live though, but we'll start with Sach, man, up top. Anything right now you want to throw out there to kind of get the ball rolling?
I mean, obviously the biggest thing that we're all looking at, from our perspective, is obviously the Olympic basketball. You got USA facing Brazil. That should be a clean sweep. I mean, we're a 26.5-point favorite. That should be an easy dub. And then you look at Serbia, and I think Serbia is really underrated in the fact that when you look at that team, they're filled up of a bunch of guards and just big men. So they don't really have any true wings. The style of basketball that FIBA is accustomed to, and you look at Serbia, I mean, people like I was talking to my dad a little bit before this, like people don't understand how good Serbia is in basketball, because you obviously got Jokic, you got Bogdanovic, who is a EuroLeague MVP, which is kind of like the second tier league, the highest award that you can get. Bogdanovic has been that. And then when you look at him in the NBA, he's obviously, kind of like a role player, but he's a little bit higher than that. And then they got Vasilij Micic, who's another EuroLeague MVP. He's an older dude. He's on the Hornets this year, another EuroLeague MVP. I mean, I think this team is pretty stacked when you look at it. And when they face USA probably in the next round, I think Serbia will take care of Australia, but I mean, like what Witt's been saying this past couple of weeks is like, can you see them losing a game? I can't really see them losing a game, but I can see them being in a pretty fucking close battle where it comes down to like single digit points. And I think Serbia might be that team in the next round. But nonetheless on that, I'm just looking forward to seeing how USA plays, how Steve Kerr kind of manages those minutes of the stars. Obviously, in the exhibition game, when we're playing South Sudan and Puerto Rico in the last two games, he's not really worried about winning. The game was over at halftime for both of those games, but I'm really curious to see how those rotations go and how many minutes LeBron and like Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry, how many minutes those guys get. So that'll be really interesting. But I'm glad that we're actually up tomorrow when the game kicks off, and they're not putting USA at like a 3 a.m. fucking time slot.
Yeah, I'm glad on the top. I don't see. I know I've been hard on them. I don't see them losing. I think they're past that. I think the minutes have kind of evened out of who's going to play where, who's going to do what. I think Kerr's kind of got his hand on the wheel there. You can kind of see Curry is not as big a part of the offense as there's a lot of people that need the ball in their hands, and it's just kind of. But in the end of the day, they're gonna win. I don't think they need his shooting. There's other people that can play off the ball that are getting their shots as well. So I could see them being in a close game, but I don't see them losing past that. I thought if they did, they would lose early.
You go into Sach's point, right, about these different countries and their style of play when it comes to basketball. And a lot of the rules on the Olympic level are very different. But you just see how some of these cultures, how they adapt to the way they play. And it's crazy. Like Sach mentioned Serbia and everything. They got a style of play that shows how good these guys are. And it goes even beyond the game of basketball. It just shows the mentality of these guys from Serbia, right? It shows like their heritage, where they're coming from, how they go about pressure, stuff like that, work ethic. It's just different across the board for all of these teams, which is one of the coolest things about the Olympics. You get to see how different people are brought up in the world and everything. But then again, you go back to the U.S. and the reason why most of these guys have max deal contracts and are getting paid $300-some million for what they do. And the U.S. right now is just on an absolute tear. I mean, they really are 26-point favorites in the like. It's unheard of. Like it's just crazy. But that is just how good these guys are at the game of basketball, and they've had to adapt their style too coming over to the Olympics. But to what Sach said, excited too for tomorrow. With the time and everything. I think we got a nice one coming, but we'll see. I mean, these guys should win gold, no questions. The real question here is who's taking second. #Larry Bird.
I mean, all due respect to all the great nations that are left, fuck Serbia. Look, we gonna roll through these motherfuckers. They got Euro MVPs, we got NBA MVPs. You know, I get it, and they've been playing together forever, and it will be tough games. But I think it couldn't land any better for USA, right? Like when we started this, what were we talking about? You're talking about France, Canada, Germany, and they're all in the other side of the bracket. Only one's coming out. They're gonna beat each other up to get to us, where we'll probably have Serbia after this. Yeah. So, I mean, it's teed up to get to the gold game. It's just, you know, will they get there? And the thing with Team USA, Curry hasn't even been playing yet. No. He hasn't been hot. You know, he's had like 8 points last. He's been bad. I mean, if he can turn that shit on, my goodness. Him, Durant, I mean, they haven't really done it yet, you know.
It'll be interesting. So hopefully it'd be interesting if Curry can get going. It just seems like the ball dominant players that the USA has, he's just in the minutes that he's playing, he's not asked to do what he's asked to do in Golden State. So it just seems like he has a harder time getting into the flow of the game, getting early shots, early buckets, getting the free throw line. So it's just, you know, but you got to think he's going to have a game where he just rips off 7 threes. You know
I hope now that we're getting into the elimination, he'll get a little more game plan, a little more ball in Steph's hand, because it's gold time now. It's time to get serious, and he's on the squad. It's the first time ever. I'm sure he doesn't want to leave the Olympics, you know, averaging 8 points.
Obviously, with Steph and everything, the fact that he's not been hot, obviously you want him to play a little better and everything. But that's the scary part too, is Steph hasn't even gotten hot yet, which is the crazy part. And it just goes to show too. I mean, you want to see certain players do certain things, but it's also good too when you see players that don't need to do as much.
We can't hear you.
You're in and out, Zach. You're like this.
Sorry, I think it's my mic. I was just saying how, you know, the thing with Steph, right? Obviously wanting him to play hot, but it's scary he hasn't gotten there yet. But the other thing about it is when you have a really good team, you know, guys like this can take nights off. I was saying too, we have so many ball dominant players to where some of these guys can have a bad night, right? And we're still going to win by 20, which is the crazy part too. But that just goes to show again how good the U.S. really is.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, just to throw out like a little prop that I've been looking at, I'm looking at Joel Embiid under 10.5 points. I mean, when you look at the makeup of Brazil, they got Caboclo, who's probably their best player, but it's a team that's made up of a bunch of guards and forwards. They don't have a true center. And we've already seen the Embiid in the last 2 games. He only played 2 out of the 3 exhibition games. When a team is small, Kerr don't like to really play him like that. A team that can get up and down, you got forwards that can put the ball on the deck, shoot the 3. Like, that's not made up for Embiid's game. You saw him get taken out in the Serbia game like 4 minutes in, and he only played 10 minutes total. I think this is going to be another game just like that where Bam Adebayo and Anthony Davis are going to get majority of the minutes. We've already seen the offense does not roll through Joel Embiid. If he's a bad fit, he's going to get pulled. I really like him tomorrow under 10.5 points. And that's all due said. If he gets 10 points, that's a pretty damn good night for Embiid on this team against that team. Talking about Brazil. And you can get that at like minus 132. I don't think the ball's just going to keep going to him down low. The guys are not they're not traditional bigs, so it's not an official play yet, but we'll roll it out if need be after the show. I'll talk to you guys and see what you guys think. But the Joel Embiid under 10.5, his lines have been inflated ever since he started this thing. They've been at 11.5, 12.5, and he really only hit it last game against Puerto Rico, who is a team that didn't win anything. So, yeah. I mean, I really like that play just because of the way that Team USA is built up, and I think Bam Adebayo and AD are going to get a lot of the minutes tomorrow.
I concur wholeheartedly.
Yeah, looking forward to it, guys. Of course, that's tomorrow, men's basketball. Like Sach said, I mean, Sach is eyeing in on some of these plays. Sach has had a lot of Olympic men's basketball plays, so definitely tune in for those. Whit, you got anything you kind of want to throw out into the air right now?
You mute.
No, you guys know me. I'm still in baseball mode. I'm looking at towards football. Yeah. I looked at the Michigan story. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any surprises there. NCAA, obviously, really, really excited for that to get going along with the NFL. But me, I'm still in baseball mode, man. You got one of the best baseball seasons that I've seen in a long time. You got the Dodgers up 4.5 on the Diamondbacks and the Padres. And whoever wins that division will make the playoffs, but there's no guarantee that the other two will, or one of the three may be left out. When you look at the Orioles have been playing great, they're tied with the Yankees. The overall record 6-7-45. Cleveland Indians have the best record in the MLB, and you have half the league within 7 games of that. So a lot of high level baseball outside of the White Sox and the poor A's and stuff, but. That's still where I'm at, seeing the Dodgers hopefully get a lineup back together that they can play together holistically for a month prior to going into the postseason, seeing if they can get some pitching back, seeing if Baltimore can score and manufacture runs, the same issue the Dodgers have had, same issue the Yankees have had, although they're up there. I think the Phillies have done really well at that. Cleveland has done really well at that. The Padres are the highest contact rate in baseball, so look for them to continue along with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, for me, I think who you see at the top of these standings right now, and I think baseball's better when the Dodgers, the Yankees, and Boston and those guys are there. But you may see something where they don't make it. I think the Braves will fade. The Mets look like they're fading. So we're just going to see how it goes. But yeah, that's still where I'm at. That's still where my mind's at. But I'm looking forward to NFL big time. I'm looking forward to the Dak. There was a lot of great Dak talk today on All Around Talk Radio. I think they messed up that contract, and they're going to end up in a weird spot with him.
The good thing for baseball is you're going to have about 3.5 weeks, right? The Olympics end this week. Yeah. Football is about 4 weeks out still. So you get about 3.5 weeks by the time everything's done, and really the only thing left is baseball. Yeah. So hopefully they use that to shine and get that light, because it doesn't have a lot of publicity, it seems, right? Real quiet, it seems, baseball.
They market it terrible. We've had it on our chat. And the thing I like about it is that there's going to be a lot of meaningful games down the stretch. We haven't seen that across baseball. We've seen it in the division here, a division there. But when you look at the AL East last year, you had Baltimore and the Yankees kind of maneuvering around. Baltimore fell off, got in the playoffs, and then got swept. But I think you're going to have across all divisions outside of the NL East, you're going to have a lot of competitive baseball and people looking to make moves and win some games and go on some runs. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Nice,
love it. I was going to throw around. So whoever wants to take off on it, did the fellas watch the men's 100-meter dash?
I didn't know they had that in the Olympics. Yeah, that's like the biggest event. It's like the biggest event, man. That's like the best 10 seconds.
Yeah. What was our thoughts?
Shit was badass. Came down to an eyelash. Yeah, I think it was incredible.
If the Brazil dude would have just fucking leaned his head forward like they teach him, he probably would have got it. Yeah. But I mean, like I even said in the chat, like Noah Lyles was the one who kind of like brought the super team of USA together because he was talking about basketball, and I don't know why, but it ended up good for him in the end because he got a lot of publicity from it. He backed up what he said. He took home gold. I remember watching the replay because I was like a minute late from watching it, so I barely watched it right after. I didn't know who won, but the announcers on the broadcast were saying that the dude from Jamaica won. They were already giving him the eye test,
Right.
and it kind of did fucking look like he won. But then when you go to the photo finish, obviously 5,000th of a second, Noah Lyles ends up coming in, and I mean the dude just has a fucking second gear like I haven't seen in quite some time. I mean, for the first 40 meters of the race, he was in like last place.
It was
And then-
crazy. Yeah.
And then, dude, I don't know who the fuck the dude whoever teaches these dudes to get out of the gate is fucking terrible because he was pretty slow. And wait, I'm saying get out of the gate like the first 20 meters of the race.
Yeah.
This dude was way behind.
He was in last.
He was way behind the other cats. And like I said, the 40 meters, he was in last. But, I mean, the guy just has a second gear like no other. But the Jamaicans on Twitter and Instagram, you know, they're all relying on Usain Bolt. They'll never – I mean, but at the end of the day, like he ended up winning gold, took it home for U.S. U.S. was in need of a gold medal for that race because it felt like we were getting silvers and bronze everywhere across the board. But
I feel like
I
Lyles,
mean, shout out to the guy. He ended up backing up his words, and he ended up winning.
Lyles was funny though to me. He's like the goofiest.
He's a zesty one. He's a zesty.
Yeah, he's like the goofiest
He
100
painted his
guy
fingernails.
I've seen. You know what I mean? He's like a goofball
Yeah.
kind of almost. It's like
Yeah.
he's not a very, you know what I mean? He's not even like it's just weird. But yeah, the dude he kicked, man, and I don't know what that gear is, but it looked like he hit the them games. You hit the nitrous, and he was just like, you know what I mean?
He just turned it on that last 50, that last
ABAB or whatever.
turned it on like fucking crazy.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is the other couple shows back, it was just me and Sachan, and we were kind of debating about sports, you know, which ones we think are cooler, all that, and then we were talking about physicality with like basketball, football, and then you look at like swimming or like track, and you know, there's obviously a difference, but why like Michael Phelps, all-star that he was, and then you look at someone like Lyles. Basketball, football, all that, baseball is great. Those are team sports. These guys did it by themselves and are the best in the world. No one helped them get there. These guys did it themselves. U.S. has the fastest man in the world. I think I was telling Sachi the other day, it's been like 16 some years since the U.S. has had the fastest man in the world, obviously with Usain Bolt and everything. But, yeah, I mean, absolutely killed it. Photo finish, of course, which made it awesome. And, maybe we'll see him. Maybe Shannon Sharp will have him on the show. Whit, I don't know.
ZJ, you open for a suggestion?
Yeah,
Man, take them dollar store headphones back, man. Nobody can hear you. You're in and out. Get the receipt, go back, and just invest a little bit in something. The people are demanding it. You're going in and out. You're going in. You have great points, but we don't know what they are because it's
For the show. Yeah, for the show.
you know I'm not on my setup. I'm not on my setup. My setup's being fixed right now.
This was the first. We didn't know
Listen,
that.
there's no excuses.
We thought
It's
that
Olympics. No
that
excuse.
connect was stable.
Hey, did you guys see you see Ice Cube? October 18th, he said he'll fly the 3-on-3 gold medalist to Boston to play his
That's sick.
all-star.
Dude's a marketing
He
genius.
said, I mean, if I win, I'd do it. He's going to fly you there, put you up in a hotel, and said put some money in your pocket, and then come play our all-stars. And he's just promoting his big three, and then for next Olympics, you come get your players from me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
You know, it's funny, and maybe E can back me up on this when you talk about the world champ comment, right? I didn't find it too like off key. I felt it like unnecessary publicity, and probably he was going to get smashed for it. But dude, when you're deployed and you go overseas, and we talk about world champs of baseball, world champs of football, world champ, like the Brits and other people, they make fun of us. They're like, dude, the world champs, you guys don't even play the world, you know. And I get it, people come over here, but that's been a thing. I mean, I first took offense to it when I was 18, 19, first deployed, but that has been a common theme across the world the whole time. So it's great to see like the international, flavor and melting that's going on, so that you can truly be like, these are the best in the world. I get what they're saying, but like other countries, man, they're always eating our lunch on that.
I always tell them though, just like I work with somebody, right? Actually, they left, but I used to work with somebody, and they get so pissed at me because, you know, I'm just Joe America. But whenever she would have something to say or whatever, I just tell her, you must have forgot we won the war. We did the lose. We won the war. We'll call world champs whoever the fuck we want to call a world champ. Yeah. We won the war. You know, hey, well, they have warm beer in Europe. Yeah, guess what? We drink cold beer here because we won the war. Yeah. You might have
forgot. I used to have a shirt that said "Back-to-back World War champs."
Yeah, and he used to say, "Yeah, we won the war."
Piss people off all the time.
You know, it was always like, you know, why can't we use metrics? And you know why? Because we won the war and we invented inches, and that's what we do.
Yeah, they run on our time. They run on our time. They run on our schedule.
Winners write history. So we'll be world champs. But you're right, though. They're like, world champs of what? You don't even
especially the football and the rugby guys. They're the worst.
Yeah.
They're the worst.
But the dude that said it was American, which blew everyone's mind because he's like, why the fuck? Like, oh, why would you say that?
And maybe I'm wrong for this, but I kind of took it as him. I felt like he said that because maybe I'm a little disconnected, but I don't feel like he's gotten the pub that like a Michael Johnson and a Carl Lewis and these other guys had gotten. So I felt like he was kind of saying that as like to spur some look, man, I'm here, because I don't think he was getting, because I don't think he has a lot of
present, right? Like, we remember Michael Johnson, Usain Bolt, these guys. Nobody really talks about him, man.
Well, they're definitely talking about him now, bringing home the gold.
Yeah, which is a good.
Yeah, today they are, but it's not, you know. But yeah, he'll get his. He's just doing his thing. Yeah. It's all good.
It's all about being a promoter.
Yeah.
I feel like the world is turning into like the UFC. Like whoever's the biggest, baddest dude that can talk the most shit and stir the most controversy, they're gonna do what they got to do for their brand. And obviously, Noah Lyles is like a household name now. I didn't know who the hell he was before he said that, but I mean, now we all know who he is, and it was a perfect time for him to say it.
Yeah.
So you kind of segued into something with the UFC, and you know, 25% of the time he's telling the truth. But this afternoon, Conor put out on his social medias, he's not going to Big Bear. He's coming to Colorado Springs to train for his fight this summer, and he'll be here at the end of the summer. So that'd be pretty nice having the bad man walking around. That's what he says. I'm going for the Olympic train. Yeah,
that might, because it might be one of his last rides.
Yeah, you got to see what happens, because after everybody wins the fight, he's on social media saying that's his next one. It never happens. So we'll see. But he put out he wasn't going to Big Bear, and he was coming here to Colorado Springs, where the Olympians train. Where was it?
It's right downtown, right there, Olympic Training Center. And that makes sense, man. Chandler's a wrestler, and he's always had an issue with stamina. His cardio has always been a thing. I know he goes to Big Bear. I still don't think you can get what you can get in Colorado Springs.
This is he said, yes, I look forward to December. He's talking to Chandler. It was going to be Big Bear originally for my camp, but now it'll be Colorado Springs instead. Better facilities where the U.S. Olympic athletes train. I arrive summer's end. I'll be ready for what you bring. And yes, we'll be doing and yes, you will be doing your bat flip all right, but you will get a backhand with accuracy when you do it. So Conor, he's coming in.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it, guys.
We get him on the show.
Shout out to all the live viewers and listeners. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the chat. We'll give you a shout out and throw it out into the show. This is the Bet Champ Show After Hours. Full house tonight. Got the fellas here, Sach, Whit, and E. Special shout out to our guy, Whit. And speaking of Smash, what are the fellas looking into the most for this football upcoming season?
So for me, I think there's a couple things I'm looking at. There's three things for me. Aaron Rodgers, I think this is his swan song. I think if you see anything, if he doesn't perform, and I don't think he's going to play very well this year. That's just my take. Joe Burrow is another one that needs to string something together. I think he gets a lot of flowers but he's injured a lot, and I think that when you look at like the eye of consistency, if he's another injury, we're looking at him a lot different, right? If there's a different performance, they're looking at him a lot different. And the other one is what I talked about, and Dak. The Cowboys might have messed up, man. They're going to be in a weird spot with this contract, and I don't think they're going to pay him, and Dak's going to go get paid somewhere else, and rightfully so, because every time they've asked him to do something because they didn't want to pay him, they've ended up being wrong. So I think that's going to be another interesting. But I don't feel like the Cowboys have done a lot to enhance their brand or anything for the upcoming season. But I'm about, like, it's funny because I was a huge Brett Favre guy, and people were Brett Favre out at the end, and I'm like Aaron Rodgers out. You know what I mean? Kind of in the same way. But yeah, those are the three things I'm looking at. And then can Brock Purdy do it again? I think the Niners are going to have some other things going on. I don't think they'll have the year that people think they're going to have. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you talked about the Dak thing. I was talking to my dad, who's obviously a big Cowboys fan, like as myself, and we were talking about Dak, and he was like, "Oh, we need to get rid of Dak. Like, he's not worth $50 million a year, blah, blah, blah," the whole spiel. Because my dad is not really a Dak fan, but I was telling him, I was like, it's not what you think he deserves and what you think that he's worth. The market will tell you what he's worth. And he was like, "Oh, but he hasn't, like, we never win with him." And I'm like, well, the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks in the league have a combined 0 Super Bowls. Like, that's just the nature of the game. And you got to pay what you got to pay to keep a team. And you got to pay what you got to pay to keep a quarterback that's honestly serviceable. And I think a lot of fans, like, when it comes to football, they think that quarterbacks just grow on trees. Like, you're going to find a CJ Stroud off the street. Like, that's not how it works. It is not how it works. And if you're looking to win a Super Bowl and you have a serviceable quarterback, that's why a lot of these dudes get the contract that they get. Jordan Love played 1 season, and he's the highest paid quarterback.
Half a season. They were 2-7. Half a season.
Yeah, he played good for half a season, and he won a playoff game against the Cowboys, who shit the bed every playoffs, no matter what position they are. And he's getting the highest paid.
I wouldn't have paid that dude. And I get my son.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. But at the end of the day, a quarterback is going to have more say-so, honestly, than kind of the organization. They're going to be like, "What, are you going to start over again?"
Well, number one,
what are you going to do? You going to play without me, and you're going to go take a gamble on someone? You obviously seen what I turned into, but like, it's just an interesting conversation when it comes to quarterbacks. So it's really, really weird.
Yeah, I think Jordan Love's going to be so that's a whole nother thing.
The Dak thing to me is crazy. We've been talking about it for months, right? I've been saying Cowboys had to sign him because they're going to get stuck holding the bag. Because every time you had those 4 quarterbacks, each time they sign, the next one's more and more and more.
And he's better than all of them.
It's almost, yeah. It's look. I forget the other 2 because I looked it up for our show a couple weeks ago. But last year, only 3 quarterbacks threw for 30 touchdowns, and Dak was one of them. Man, Dak ain't the problem. I get it. He messed up in the playoff. There's this and that, but man, you're going to give up a guy that threw for 30 touchdowns in the regular season? What if he just said, and he's such a polite guy, it seems like. He does seem like a nice guy. What if he just said, "You know what? Fuck it. Hey, Dallas, I'm making an announcement. This is my last season with the Star." Because he can walk. Fuck you. You fucked me over this whole time. You made me play my last year without a contract. I'm putting it out. I'm a free agent. There's nothing the Cowboys could do. I'm out. Last game of the year, I run around, slap hands with everybody, say I'm deuces. Right? I mean, it's just the way that he's being treated, I think, isn't
disrespectful a little bit.
The guy for a guy of his skill set. The guy I feel is a top 5 quarterback.
Do they feel like Trey Lance is that dude?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No.
Like, you want to go to that?
No.
Why? You know, everybody's talking about that.
Trey Lance has been god awful.
The Niners traded him to their rival. If they thought he was good, he would have went anywhere but to Dallas. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but you're right with the Dak thing. Aaron Rodgers, right? You guys know I'm a Jets fan, but I just don't see it, Whit, unless he gets hurt. Zach Wilson got us 7-10. Zach Wilson, like, you know what I mean? I mean, we can get He's got to be at least 10 wins. He's
I
going to
think
get
they're
3 more
10 and
wins.
7. I just don't think he's going to play well. Like when you look at his last full season, Baker Mayfield's numbers, put them side by side, they were drastically better. I just think Rodgers, man, for me, and I think the dude's super cerebral. I'm a big independent thinker. I think the dude he's narcissistic to me as fuck.
Yeah.
You have to be that
100%.
probably to be that
I mean,
great.
he's a little
right?
bit kooky, 100%.
Yeah. But I think
Ayahuasca.
so many distractions. I think with that team, they're starving for a leader. And the dude is like consistently inconsistent. And I think it's going to wear on his teammates, man.
Yeah, if Wilson can get you 7, so the Broncos, you probably got me, ZJ. You start Wilson, you have that stake. Wilson won 7. Rodgers can get you 10. And you got a running back, and you got receivers. You know what I mean? And you got tight end.
I'm not saying the win-loss total because I think the Jets are uber talented. But I think Rodgers
and the defense, you know what I mean?
Rodgers can be that guy that says, I'm going to manage that offense, and my numbers are going to be down, and I'm going to check down, and I'm going to do this. I know he throws the ball away, but he throws the ball away a lot of times when he can check down and get you 3.
Yep.
So it's like I don't think he has that in him, and I think it's too late in the game for him to change. And I don't think there's no accountability there, and there hasn't been in a lot of his career for him to really just say, you know what, I need to fucking do these things. But I do think they'll win 9 or 10 games. I agree with that. I just think his numbers are going to be down.
And then the Joe Burrows thing, I'm there with that more so. There's like 3 teams that I think will be interesting or you want to watch. A healthy Bengal team with the last place schedule, what they can do with that. And then I really want to see how Houston does year 2, right? What can CJ Stroud and them do? And then finally, it's just a mystery. Like, what are those Bears? What is this the year the Bears do? Like, what's going on in Chicago? All good things I want to see. And then Seattle could be a sleeper in the West. You heard it from me first right here.
I think this year is exciting and kind of to what Sach is playing out with quarterback-wise and everything. Obviously, we know Patrick Mahomes being the top dog, but this year is exciting because it's really who's next up, who's next in line, who's going to step up. You got to think, right? Obviously, you guys are throwing out the Joe Burrow conversation. What's he going to do after injury? You go down to Philly. You're now looking at Jalen Hurts and all the shit they pulled last year. How are they going to bounce back from all of that stuff? You go over to the Chargers, Justin Herbert, new coach, right? Everyone's high and mighty on the new coach. What are they going to do? And now it's starting to get the year of the younger quarterbacks. You got CJ Stroud. What will Bryce Young do over on the Panthers? Is he pretty much done after this year? And then obviously you got all these new draft picks coming out, which I'm stoked to watch this year too because of these new draft picks. I've been iffy on Caleb Williams this whole time. I want to see what he can do. I think the Bears could be special because they have a lot of weapons they've provided. We'll see if he's that leader. I really have been high on Jaden McDaniels, though, guys. No, we haven't really talked about him enough, and I know Sach has kind of said his piece over in Washington. I think he was the best quarterback coming out of that draft. We're going to see. We're going to find out. Drake May, I think, is a dud. I think he's kind of out. And then, of course, you go over to the Mile High, and you got Bo Nix, the supercomputer.
I was just waiting for – I knew this was where this was going to end. And, like, I'm so excited. I said at some point – that's why I smirked. At some point, we're going to get to Bo Nix.
But the guy can't help himself.
But to go back to my main point, it's really who's next in line, who's going to do what this year, right? Who's stepping up this year? That's the main question.
So I do like Bo Nix with Sean Payton, and I think if this is make or break for them. He's a more mature quarterback, so Sean Payton can ride him a little bit harder. Whereas if he got one of these Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, I think it would be a lot more toxic. I think Bo Nix is a more level-headed. He's a son of a coach. He's older. You know, he did 12 years in college, so you know all that. But when I look at, you know, one of the things that's been rubbing me, and I wondered if anyone would. Why does the next quarterback have to be the highest paid? No other profession does it work this way. Like, Tua is not better than Dak. Love, in my opinion, has a body of work that's less than Tua. Why is the next guy just paid that? If I was the Packers, and I think Love's gonna be a problem because he should have told him a lot sooner. I'm not going to camp, so he fucking waited. So that's a leadership attribute right there. So it just 2 years ago, before Tyreek and Waddle and McDaniels got to Miami, we were talking about Tua might be out of the league. Can't throw downfield. There's other things. He had the hip injury, but at the same time, why does the next guy? Like, I don't get hired or paid more than the guy before me, or because another dude in the company that does the same thing as me got a raise. My raise is bigger than his because mine's after his. Like, it's just asinine to me when you know there's only 8 elite quarterbacks out there. Like, what would Allen get at this point? Lamar Jackson get at this point? Because they're $50 million. Mahomes, $50-75 million better than these guys. I just don't get the logic, and maybe I'm not an economical wizard, but why is the next guy just automatically get paid more when he's nowhere? He's not in the fucking top 10.
It's because the league is so, these owners and these teams are so scared to get into like quarterback hell. Once you're in quarterback hell and you let the one go that you could have at least made something work, and you see guys. And I feel like the 49ers are like a team that where you're like, you don't need a gunslinging quarterback that can fucking make all these fancy throws, do all of that shit that Mahomes does. Like, if you could just lock down a dude for like as soon as you can get him locked down, keep him for the next 4 years, build around them with some money. And I know Brock Purdy was on the rookie contract, so obviously the 49ers had a lot more money to spend. But like, these teams are so scared to get like, if you let a quarterback go and you're the next one's dog shit, that GM is going to get fired. That coach is going to get fired because they're going to be like, well, why the fuck didn't you sign that quarterback? You saw what he did, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like the quarterbacks have so much leverage in the NFL, unlike any other team or like
who do you think is out there would have gave Love that contract? Just like so here's what we saw.
I think there was a couple teams that would have given
a couple teams, but Jordan Love was 2-7, and they just went on a run. But
you're only judged by your last 8 games in this league. You're only judged by what you did, and then Love has the thing to hang on his hat. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not agreeing with it in any sense. I'm saying Love's agent has so much leverage. Like, oh, we beat the Cowboys in Dallas. He turned it up the last half of the season. Like, you don't think one of these teams in quarterback hell for the last 3 years are going to be like, yo, we're fucking taking a shot. We're paying this dude. So that's how they have it. It's bizarre, but that's how the NFL has been for the last couple of years, and that's how it's going to keep.
But you end up with like a Deshaun Watson situation. You end up with like you go back to the Seahawks when they signed the dude out of fucking Green Bay, Finn, right? You go back to fucking dude where they traded the fucking house for Trey Lance. It's like, dude, there's no other fucking report card in this world more than a body of work. And when you look at Tua, and when you look at Dak, and when you look at fucking, like, even Burrow, the result was there. I wouldn't say the body, but he had a body of work in college that was so astronomical. But like fucking Jordan Love, fucking 9-8, dude. You were 2-7. You finished 9-8. You went on to run the playoffs. That's great. But you also got crazy young wide receiver performance.
And his running back
the fucking MVP the second half of the season.
And his running back ran through fucking the Cowboys defense like a fucking bloody nose that they couldn't stop.
I don't know.
3 touchdowns.
But
the thing that Jordan Love has is Jordan Love made all the right throws in that playoff game.
But even Tua got a lot of money. Tua got a lot of money.
It's terrible. Yeah. Tua is a fucking, that's a joke.
To answer your question, Whit, because I 100% agree with you. The body of work. You got to look at the body of work. But Sach kind of hinted at it. And I'm going to put my GM hat on right now. It's all about the franchise. It's all about the image. You look at the Packers, right? Losing Aaron Rodgers. What do you think that franchise was doing when that quarterback left the building? They're looking for the new one, right?
I think they knew they had him. I think they knew they had him. That's why he got paid.
The moment he started doing good, right? Now the GM's like, we can push this. This is our guy. Jersey's off the wall. Tua, dude's not winning playoff games, but he's the image of the team. They're paying these guys because they need an image for that franchise, and it's not fair with the body of work. It's totally not, but that's what you do when you're in this position.
I'll tell you, I probably think, I don't know, Eve will say, but I tell you this, okay, you can make a dumb decision today and be fired today, or you can make fucking pile on a dumb decision and in 2 years you're up, right?
What the
Because
fuck?
you're not
What the hell?
fucking Caterpillar. Look, dude,
Man, we just lost 48 viewers right there.
but I don't know, man. I just that to me, that model is just crazy. You have to get more, and I think that's where the really steadfast organizations. And when you look at Mahomes and you look at Brady and you look how it's been built, they're saying, I know I have number one, I have more accomplishments than you, and number two, I'm going to take a little less so I can be protected. I have assets, and I can get someone on the interior of that defense or get that special guy that we need on the other side of the ball so that, we can win. And I think this model is just it's going to have teams cycling out every fucking 3 years, 4 years, if they don't re-sign that quarterback. Or like the Cowboys are in such a shitty position with this. Like, it's terrible. And I feel bad because the Cowboys have actually football's better when the Cowboys are good. And then at the end of the year lose. It's just better that way. You know what I mean? But then when they're it's just like I always want to see the Cowboys get to the altar and then the groom not show up. Like, I just think it's great for football.
Nothing better. That's football.
The problems, I think, and I'm not to upset Sach in a way, right? He knows it too. The problem the Cowboys have, why it's deeper, is if you listed their three marquee players, all three of them need to be signed.
Yeah, we're fucking retarded.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why the fuck is CeeDee Lamb not retired?
They got
Why
CeeDee Lamb.
the fuck is
They got
CeeDee
Parsons.
Lamb not fucking signed? It's fucking ridiculous.
It's deeper than just the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, your whole identity on both sides of the ball they're just like, hey, we're running it back. And so, I mean, you're right. When Dallas is when Dallas is hot, the NFL is hot because, like it or love it, you either love Dallas or you hate them. But when they're losing, they're just like a non. But when they're winning, there's nothing better because everyone else is pissed off. You know what I mean?
E hinted on something earlier, and the NFC West guys. So the NFC West is like Donald's no longer with the Rams. Stafford goes down, they're fucked, right? Cooper Kupp's coming back. Kyler Murray goes down, the Cardinals are fucked. The Niners. The one injury, McCaffrey, made Purdy. Like, that division is interesting. The Seahawks actually have a nice little core of young players. So I think the NFC West is the one player. Like, it's only one from each team too. Whereas like if you go out to Cincinnati, Burrow goes down, you're looking at something different. But like most teams, you're like, okay, they could still be 500, but the NFC West, I mean, you could see the Niners end up in the cellar or third. They got to sign Trent Williams. They have to. So that's immediate. That'll change their team drastically going into the season. Purdy will look like a whole different dude.
I don't know why. I'm just digging Seattle. I really like Walker. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to be a top 5 running back. He was balling last year until he got hurt.
Yeah,
but
they're physical too. Good crowd.
Yeah, new coach, new look. New offensive coordinator, let's go. I think if McCaffrey ever goes down, the Niners, they can replace almost anybody but him.
Yeah.
And
he's going to be hurt 4 games out of the year. He's going to be hurt. It's going to be a hammy, quad, ankle.
The Cards too, though, right? I mean, offensively, man, and you still got Connor. I mean, offensively, and you picked up Harrison.
People forget about Kyler Murray, how good he was.
What is it, McBride, the tight end?
Yeah.
McBride's a beast. We re-signed Xavier Collins, which is an unsung hero on the inside of that defense. Buda Baker, I know he's old. He'll miss some games, but he's still a top-tier safety in the league.
Maserati
Connor's a workworkhorse, man.
Yeah, and I think
Harrison, running back is a beast.
I think Harrison is I think he's a little bit I would say I'm going to stop short of like a head case. I think people are calling him and stuff. I think he had a dad that sat on the end of the bench and didn't say shit. And is a Hall of Famer that say, look, man, here's all the ways they fuck you financially. And it seems like nothing because it's fanatics, or it seems like, nothing because your contract is this, but it's over a 10-year, 14-year career. It's a fucking lot. And I think he's trying to educate him on the business end of those things. And it's unpopular with the masses and the old white elderly men that own these teams and fanatic CEOs and stuff. But I don't know that he's wrong. You know what I mean? He's just the one guy brand new to the league that's trying to do something different. Everyone else is just happy as fuck. They're getting paid tens of millions of dollars. So,
this is what I'm saying. So I'm agreeing with that as well. Like his dad was obviously Marvin Harrison. So not only did he have his dad, but as a kid, he's running around getting passes from Peyton Manning at practice.
yeah.
Like he's been around excellence between his dad and Manning. Like the kid is just special. He's not coming in this league and gonna be in awe. Oh wow! Oh look, it's this guy, that guy. He's like, have you met my family? You know what I mean? You met my uncle Peyton. You met him. You know what I mean? So yeah. Can he get there? I just think I think they have an option. I don't know how that defense is going to be, but they can surprise some people if Kyler can stay healthy.
My concern with Kyler is, he's I've literally stood next to him. He's my size.
Yeah,
he's just.
Remember we used to watch the games together, the three of us. I told you he's like a freaking leprechaun. He can't tackle because nobody sees him.
He's in a lot better shape. But the dude seems to be getting thicker and thicker every year, and it's just concerning. I know he had an ACL injury, but it's like, dude, you're 5'9", and like I'm like he's my size. Like right now, 5'9", like 210, and it's just like, dude, this is weird. Like I'm 45. I sit on the couch most time and drink volume of Coors Lights. You're a fucking elite athlete under the age of 26. It just seems odd, you know what I mean? Muscle mass difference, but he keeps getting wider and wider and wider. And I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just weird.
He is a chunky little bastard.
Like you see him go back to his Instagram, he wiped it. But if you went back to when he first came in the league, he was just a small, quick twitch athlete. Now he's like remember Jerome Bettis is? He's not as big as him. The evolution of the bus.
Yeah,
he keeps getting thicker around the midsection and like less shoulder definition, and I'm just like, oh fuck, man, is this guy? And so I could see him being done in the league in like 3 years, man. That's just from now.
like you say, let's go.
Looking forward to it all.
Time.
Like he was kind of saying, we're getting there. We're close. And this is when the best time of the year starts to form around. Obviously, Olympics still going on their way. We still got MLB. A lot of big stuff coming, but Sach and myself are gonna get the BCS bet show going. That's 5 picks from each of us. I think we might do a grand, $1,000.
Yeah, we might do 1,000
this year.
So
looking forward to that. Obviously, we're gonna get more ease picks coming out for.
You got my eyebrows up. $1,000. What are we doing?
Here, let me explain it, Zeej. So me and ZJ last year, obviously we did a $500 cash prize. We started in week 4. I come out with 5 picks. ZJ comes out with 5 picks. It got to be odds of -130 to whatever plus money you want. And the winner, you have to beat. You only go up against me and ZJ during that week, right? We all come up with 5 picks. Me 5, ZJ 5, the guest 5. If you beat me and ZJ, you go to the final round of the probably like week 17 or 16, whatever we decide, or the playoffs. And all the winners who beat us during that week, they all face off against each other. And whoever wins gets the grand prize, which was last year $500. We had a female win it last year, very knowledgeable, knew her shit. She ended up winning.
She'll be the first guest on this year.
She'll be the very first guest this year.
I mean, are co-hosts eligible to come on?
Yeah, you guys can come on.
We're gonna have you. Yeah, we're gonna throw you and Win on there.
You didn't. This was your studio show.
Yeah, this was the
There's
original.
$1,000 on the line. Now I could drive up for just to get.
Well, you got to beat me. You got to beat me and Zeej. So you got to beat me and ZJ.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
I think we're gonna do $1,000. I think we're gonna do $1,000 for the winner. And you got to beat me. You could have a bad week. You could go 4-1 that week, but if I go 5-0, you're bounced.
Yeah, I like it.
or if I have better odds than you that week, then you get bounced. But yeah, I think
Also, like if you took a bigger spread,
huh?
like you had better odds. So you took a +7 team, I had a +5.
No.
You
I'm talking odds in like the -130.
Oh.
Let's say we both went. We add up all the odds, like the minus, the plus money. We add up all of that to see who had the better odds.
Okay.
But that's only if you tie. If you go 4-1 and you had better odds, and I went 5-0, but I went 5-0, then you can't beat me.
I like this.
It's interesting. So $1,000 on the line. We might have Whit make an appearance out here, fly out, huh?
$1,000. That's just one night of stripping for ZJ.
Easy money, baby. Shout out to the Bet Champ Show. Shout out to the fellas. Shout out to you guys out there watching. Love to get you guys involved. Always DM us if you want to come on the show or anything of that nature. We'd love to have you and get you on. This is the end of the night. Before we put a bow on this thing, love to go around the room. Anything the fellas want to do, say goodbye, whatever you want, throw it out into the world right now. And we'll start with Sach.
No, I mean I'm gonna just say shout out USA. We got a easy little warm up before the semifinals. So shout out to them. And we got the 200 meter, I believe, men's race tomorrow. Noah Lyles is like a -600, so hopefully he can bring home gold for them again. But I mean, like what the whole show has been based off of. I mean, we got football in about 3.5 weeks to a month. We're going to be off and rolling. The Bet Champ Show is going to be off and rolling. $1,000 cash prize on the line. So, we're ready for that. We're ready for all the smoke, and yeah, it's gonna be a good season. I'm sure we're gonna have like a little 4-man, like a little wager going on. With who has the best record of all of our picks and whatnot. And still in the works, I think we're gonna think of like a fantasy football thing, maybe, or we're gonna have a Survivor League. I run a Survivor League every year.
Let me get in that.
So we're gonna do that. Hey,
we gotta do.
I've won.
We got to do the show Fantasy Team 2 or whatever we were talking about.
Yeah, we'll do something like that for sure. But the last two Survivor Leagues, I've had 70 people. And last year, I think I had like 50, and I've won both of them. So
nice.
I'm ready for everything.
All right, I'm saying invite me. I didn't say I was winning. I said invite me.
Oh no,
what you got, Whit?
I'm just telling you, I'm locked and loaded.
I got something. I'll go before Whit. I got something. So interesting, right? The calm before the storm, whatever you want to say. If you guys, I'm sure you heard the news about Michigan, right? And how the allegations started coming down from them, a class 1, probably multiple class 1s. It was stealing signs, and 1 year, 2 year ban, whatever they'll have. It's just funny, like, because I was watching Harbaugh's response to it. If you watched, he was brought up. If you make a mistake, you apologize. He didn't do anything. The one thing that he's known for, he's known as like a Bill Belichick. Like nothing goes on in his organization without him knowing it. He knows what color towels are in the locker room. But you're going to say you didn't know about this sign stealing stuff going on. I don't know. It's going to be bad. I don't like it. It just seems anytime you get these outsiders that win a college, and it's in basketball too, right? All of a sudden that school's investigated. That school's up on sanctions and charges. And probably to their point, everyone's cheating. But I was the guy that you didn't like. I'm the guy who fought back against NCAA. And so they got caught. They got spanked. But it'll be interesting to see how that rolls out for those guys.
Yeah, it's interesting. Anyone who says it didn't matter, or how much did the play, like the Houston Astros are a big one that come to mind. It's like if I know, it doesn't matter if you're utilizing it or not. You feel more confident going in if you know some of the answers to the test. It makes you overall confident on everything, every other aspect of your job, because there's a certain percentage where you don't have to think or think as much. So the mental fatigue and other fatigues don't always happen.
Did you see the interview with LaShawn McCoy and who was Brady's little receiver, like his buddy? Edelman. Yeah, because he asked Edelman, "Hey, did you guys cheat?" And Edelman's like, "What are you talking about, man? We just know some things." And McCoy said when they were in Tampa together, getting ready for the Super Bowl. They're practicing, and Brady's out there. They go out on the field for the first time, and Brady's like, "What the fuck? That building right there." They're like, "Why are we outside?" And Brady made them go inside to practice because he was saying anybody can see what we're doing right now. They got spies. Anybody can be looking. And like that was McCoy's point. Only you would think about that. Only a cheater would think about having the guy with the telescope up, a mile away watching what we're doing because you did it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. If you're not cheating, you're not trying to say. I mean, he did it to the Jets.
I think
So.
it just sucks, because it's just it's money. It's all about money. That's the root of it all is money.
Getting an advantage.
Getting a competitive advantage. But why? Because if I win, I get more money. The boosters get more money. The school gets more money. So it's all about money. And the thing about it is, you can't tell me the people that are in charge of those organizations and other things. Hey, let's just take it back. Let's just take it back. Let's just take it back to your and I dynamic. There's certain things you're like, I start telling you, yeah, man, the other night, but yeah. I don't need to know all that. You think the fucking athletic director doesn't know?
Yeah.
You think it's just like, yeah, I don't need to know about all that. Don't text me, hey man, not on this phone. Not on this phone.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that shit's not happening with those guys.
True.
So I mean, it happens everywhere. I don't like it because you want to think we all want to escape to something that we believe is purity of competition. But I like Harbaugh, but man, it's fucking disappointing because I think what he did is grossly different than Belichick. I just think Belichick was just uberly more successful than him. But I do the fucking Michigan got too good too fast.
Yeah.
And with a lack of talent from others in the nation, man. Like those Alabama teams and fucking Georgia teams, they're fucking good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't convince me that it was all that, and they stayed healthy, but I don't know. It's all money. It's all money.
That all? Is that your piece, Whit? Is that all you got?
I mean, yeah, man. You want me to text you something? I don't.
Guys,
not on this phone.
Guys, shout out to all the live listeners and viewers. Appreciate you guys being here. Big things coming, like Sach said, some cash prizes, some cool events coming. We're stoked for the NFL season. That's kind of when we shine at our best. So looking forward to dropping the plays down each and every Sunday for you guys. Stay fresh, stay frosty. Love all you guys out there. We'll be back again on Thursday. You can count on us, and of course on Saturday for that parlay of the weekend. Guys, we will see you